One of Racine, Wisconsin's most notable and beloved features is the Root River. When the weather is nice and outside in nature is the place to be, there's only one spot that should come to mind, and that's the Root River Pathway. We want to take you through the pathway and tell you all about the places and features you'll come across on its route. If we begin our tour at the pathway's northernmost point, then we'd start our journey at Colonial Park. Colonial Park is located just next to the river on West High Street and is considered a nature area. People love to gather at Colonial and utilize the pathway for a nice run or walk, either by themselves, with a friend, or a four-legged furry companion. Colonial Park is also one of the many hotspots where fishermen flock to get easy access to the river and cast away. When you hop on the pathway, you'll head south and cross a bridge, which will take you into the scenic landscape of Colonial Park. While on the pathway, you'll walk right along the river with Colonial's trees and nature surrounding you. And eventually you'll arrive at a bridge, which will take you into Lincoln Park. Upon arrival into Lincoln, you will see a parking lot. This area is another fishing hotspot for those that like fishing in these parts of the river. Next to the parking lot is the Root River Steelhead Facility, which is run by the Department of Natural Resources and is a great asset to the preservation of the river and its fish. Continuing along the pathway, it will take you through the heart of Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park is a community park that features a full parking lot, baseball diamond, playground, pavilion, bathrooms, and premier access to the river. It is a great park to rent the pavilion at for a personal party, and it is a staple for our adult softball leagues. As the pathway transitions out of Lincoln Park, you'll cross a small bridge onto Spring Street and walk past Brosey Park. Brosey Park is a small neighborhood park along the Root River with a gazebo and a playfield. As you walk the pathway, it will take you under Spring Street, along the river, and into Island Park. Island Park is a beautiful community park completely surrounded by the river, hence its name. It is home to many softball tournaments, beer gardens, and other special events, and it is full of features, including 2 ball diamonds, 2 tennis courts, 4 pickleball courts, a dog park, a playground, a full parking lot, a pavilion, and bathrooms. If you enter Island Park from the north end of the pathway coming from Brosey Park, you are first greeted by a split of the river and then a bridge. To continue on the pathway, you'd veer west and head south over the bridge. Along this segment of the pathway, you'll hug the river closely and be able to take in all of its color and beauty. Once you get to the south end of Island Park, you'll come across one of the few canoe launches we have along the Root River pathway. There are a few designated parking spots right next to the launch for our canoers' convenience. As you exit Island Park and continue your journey along the Root River, the pathway takes you right under the West 6th Street Bridge, which was just redone in the summer of 2023. Its features and design are gorgeous, and it also has informational message boards detailing some of Racine's history along the river. Keep following the pathway past the bridge, and on your left-hand side, you'll enjoy a great view of the river for quite a long stretch. On your right-hand side, you'll notice the beautiful, hilly landscape of Riverside Park. Continuing past here, we'll cross a bridge taking us to the other side of the river and into Cedar Bend Park. Cedar Bend Park is a neighborhood park that was formerly tennis courts but is now an open green space area. When leaving Cedar Bend Park, the pathway will turn into Public Street for a few blocks before reforming in Clayton Park. To stay on path and not get confused during this stretch, just follow the arrows on these signs that you'll see posted throughout the pathway. There are a few spots like this along the route. After that, we'll arrive at Clayton Park, a neighborhood park with a playground, a small basketball court, a soccer field, and a small parking lot. The Root River pathway runs all along the southwest edge of the park and gives you a great view of the water. Just like Island Park, the Clayton Park segment of the pathway provides a canoe launch area as well. The pathway will continue from Clayton Park to Barbie Park, which is considered a passive park. This means there are not any features. It is just a segment of the pathway that is named. But you will find some informational signage about the Root River pathway while in Barbie Park. Following Barbie Park, the pathway's next stop is the Rec Center. The pathway runs through the Rec Center around the bend of the Root River. The Rec Center is a recreational facility where you can either bring your own or rent kayaks and canoes and hop in the river from their launch. There is informational signage about the Root River here as well. The pathway continues around the bend and underneath the East 6th Street Bridge. After passing the bridge, it will reveal an outlook area with benches where you can take in a beautiful view of the river. From here, the pathway once again merges into Public Street along Mound Avenue and Liberty Street and takes you away from the river for a stretch of a couple blocks. Once again, just follow the pathway signs and you will stay on route. The pathway will once again reform and take you around the bend of the river for another relaxing stretch all the way to the west side of the State Street Bridge. For one last stretch, the pathway will turn into Public Street. After crossing State Street and heading north on Erie Street, which turns into Dodge Street at the bend, the pathway will reform as you head east. This time, it will take you right along the river with a gorgeous view of the Main Street Bridge, take you under the bridge and into the harbor of Lake Michigan. From Colonial Park to the Main Street Bridge, the pathway extends for over 4 miles. And from the scenic trails to the relaxing views, if you're looking to get outside in Racine, Wisconsin, there's nothing better than the Root River Pathway.